Hello, this is Kate, the Daily Tarot Girl, and welcome to your weekly Oracle card reading. So I typically use tarot, but I'm going to branch out and read with the Magick and Medium's Oracle. So this is a deck I've had for a while, and I haven't used it in a long time, and this isn't a deck that I'm super familiar with. So I'm going to kind of be making it up as I go along. So I just want to take a moment here to say welcome. Thanks so much for joining me. My intention, as always, is to take a peek into the week ahead and some of the energies that are coming up for us and just see how we can make the most of things this week. And if you're new here, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. It really, really helps me and my channel. Now, you might be wondering what's up with all the cucumbers. These are from my garden. I got a huge crop and I'm just really proud of them. So I wanted to showcase them in the background. Okay. So let's zoom in a little bit here. Let's begin with the card for the beginning of the week. So Monday and Tuesday-ish. Okay, Sacred Heart. I have no idea what this card means. I'm going to be honest. Like I said, I don't use this deck very often. So I'm really winging it here and I'm hoping that the messages will resonate with you. So as I look at this card and see this Sacred Heart and see this figure and she's pointing to her heart, it does make me think of the importance of the heart and how important your heart energy is as a human being, as a spirit having a human experience on this earth at this time. It is so important to connect with the heart. Now, this is something that I often forget to do. And when I remember to do it, it's so powerful. Just taking a moment at the beginning of your day or as you sit down to do something or stand up to do something, taking a moment to just place a hand on your heart or just placing your attention on your heart, breathing into that heart space and just connecting with its energy. This can instantly shift you into, at the risk of sounding dramatic, it shifts you almost into another dimension. Like you experience life from a different vantage point when you're centered in your heart. And if you're not used to doing this, it can feel a little awkward and you may not feel like anything really changes the first few times you try it. But if you make it kind of a practice, just checking in with the heart, connecting to the heart, you'll start to notice that it becomes more and more natural. And this is like, I often think of the heart as a portal. And it's this portal to this sacred dimension. And so there is something very special, very sacred about connecting with this energetic point on your body. So taking the time to connect with the heart this week and see what happens, like connect with the heart just for a few seconds or a moment before doing something, whether that's a project you're working on or a conversation you're having with another person or some sort of mundane chore or task that you have to do. Like just experiment and play around with like connecting with your heart before you do that thing and see what happens. Okay, let's have a look at the next card, Cleanse. Okay, so this is the card for the sort of the beginning of, or not the beginning, the middle of the week. So Wednesday, Thursday-ish, kind of midweek. And we have the Cleanse card. And here we see this woman, she's got a crystal pendant around her neck and she's holding, looks like Palo Santo in one hand and say a sage bundle in the other. Those are my two favorite things to energetically cleanse myself with, is sage smoke and Palo Santo smoke. So midweek, this is a time to refresh yourself and cleanse your energy in some way. I think of this as also about like clearing the energy in your space. So this might look like organizing your desk drawer or clearing the clutter off a few surfaces in your home, particularly in the areas where you spend the most time. Now, I'm looking at my dining room table right now, and it is a bit of a nightmare. I'm going to show it to you. I need to do some clearing of the clutter. That actually looks really pretty. Okay, zooming out, we've got some apples, some other decks. Anyway, my space is like a little bit cluttered right now, so I'm gonna maybe take my own advice this week. So yeah, cleansing and clearing the clutter, but also taking the time this week to cleanse yourself energetically. That might look like lighting a bundle of sage and wafting the smoke around yourself. It might be meditating with a crystal or taking a nice Epsom salt bath. This is one of my favorite ways to cleanse, by the way. As I get some Epsom salts, I mix in a few drops of like sage oil, like essential oil, maybe a bit of lemon or rosemary or patchouli. Mix that up, put it in the bath, light a candle, soak in it for like 20 or 30 minutes. That's a really powerful way to cleanse yourself energetically. So taking the time to cleanse yourself this week, whether that's, using sage or just clearing the clutter in your space, this is going to help you kind of reset yourself. You just clear out the junk, and it's a way of like renewing your energy midweek. Ooh, Daemon. Okay, so this is for the end of the week. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I kind of wish I worked with this deck more and like knew what this card meant in the book, what the creator intended for this card to mean. But that's the beauty of oracle cards, is you don't have to know what the, official meaning of the card is. You can work with the imagery and the words on the card in a very kind of creative, intuitive, imaginative way and get some amazing results. So that's what I'm going to do here, because I'm not 100% sure what the meaning of this card is. This card reminds me a little bit of, it's like a combination of the Lovers and the Devil in the tarot deck. So that's what I think of when I look at this. I'm like, oh, it's like the Devil, but also the Lovers. It also makes me think of like sort of the two sides of ourselves, maybe our shadow side and our light side. Maybe your alter ego and your social self, your domesticated self, your wild side, your domestic side. There's many different ways of looking at this, but what does this card mean for us for the end of the week? I feel like there's a certain feeling of yearning with this card. I think that many of us may find ourselves really yearning for authentic, deep connection towards the end of the week, or maybe throughout the whole week, but it may really like ramp up and kind of the volume might get turned up on that feeling, that desire, that yearning by the end of the week and the weekend. It's that desire for connection with another. And more than anything, it's the desire to be seen, to feel like another person, another being sees who we are and still wants to come closer and wants to accept us and welcome us. So you may notice within yourself that desire, that longing, and that isn't necessarily a romantic longing. It's more of just a social, like that, the feeling of being accepted by another person or a group may get really intense towards the end of the week. And that's both a blessing and a curse. So there's good and bad to that. So the good thing of that is when you have those yearnings, they sometimes propel you to reach out to others and to allow yourself to be vulnerable and maybe get out of your comfort zone in certain ways and to reach out and connect. So that's the beauty of it. The downside is it does make you vulnerable. So you can be more vulnerable than you normally would be to people who may be a little bit manipulative, or have an agenda. So you need to kind of keep your wits about you. It's important to kind of hold that space, be like, okay, this is my desire. This is what I'm yearning for and longing for. And because I have that longing, it makes me a little bit vulnerable. So I need to have a good head on my shoulders. And I also need to practice good discernment as I move through the weekend. Okay, let's look at all the cards now. And at this point in the reading, I want to invite you to share, if you feel like it, this is a gentle invitation, to share how you see these cards. Is there a particular card that really speaks to your soul? Is there a particular card that you really relate to right now? The card that is like the loudest for you? Or maybe you relate to all the cards. But feel free to share in the comments. And of course, if you see these cards differently, if you want to add something, feel free to do so. Okay. Oh, I'm just noticing something interesting happening with the cleanse card. So the smoke looks like a mask. It looks like on this side, but particularly this side, it looks like a shape of a mask. And when you're cleansing yourself this week, you want to be clear about what it is that you're cleansing. What are you scrubbing away energetically? As I look at this card, to me, it looks like she's letting go. She's dissolving some of the masks that she wears. So that desire to put on a mask and to appear a certain way or to be a certain type of person to certain people, she's cleansing that away so that she can be her authentic self in all situations. So think about when you're cleansing, when you've got your Palo Santo smoke going and you're wafting it around yourself, what is it that you're releasing? What is it that you're letting go of? I think that's important. A lot of heart energy this week. So we have that first card, which is the sacred heart. I'm also drawn to the heart space with that ruby pendant. So that kind of makes me focus on the heart space. And then this is all about, actually this kind of, the shape of these two is kind of in a heart if you look at it that way. And there is something about heart energy here as well. So I do feel like heart energy may really come forward as a really prominent force throughout this week, which I think is interesting. Just looking to see if there's anything else. I feel like if I'm going to read these three cards in a really quick, brief way, connect with your heart this week, cleanse yourself energetically, and reach out to another person. Really prioritize connection and prioritize allowing yourself to be seen while also allowing yourself to look and see others clearly. And the heart is needed for this. So if you don't activate your heart or check in with your heart before this step, it can actually be kind of dangerous. You can not notice important things. So that is really important, is activating the heart first before you connect with others. Okay, so that has been your weekly oracle card reading. My name is Kate. I'm also known as the Daily Tarot Girl, and I use the Magick and Mediums Oracle. And now this is by Anielle Reid and illustrated by Ash Colored. So if you want to learn more about tarot cards, oracle cards, you can check out my website, dailytarotgirl.com. I'll put the link below. And I just want to say thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful week.